My name Putrisha Shakira binti Muhammad Tarman. My matrix number H22A0422. I would like to present our group assignment for Part A. First is the sampling technique. Sampling technique are ways to take a subset of people or things from a broader population and use the features of the sample to draw conclusion about the population. The following are a few typical sampling methods. First is probability sampling, such as basic random sampling, stratified systematic sampling, and cluster sampling. And for the non-probability sampling, such as convenience sampling, corpus sampling, judgmental sampling, and snowball sampling. Next is type of data. First, categorical or qualitative data. Data that represent label or categories is called categorical data. It is employed to organize objects according to their qualitative attributes. Categorical data comes in two primary forms. First is nominal data and ordinal data. The second is numerical or quantitative data. One kind of numerical data that depicts measurable value is called quantitative data. It deals with quantifiable number that are countable or measurable, statistical analysis, and mathematical properties possible. There's two primary categories of quantitative data exist: discrete data and continuous data. Next is 1.2 level of measurement. The various classification or measuring scheme for variable are referred to as level of measurement or scale.
Good afternoon, madam. And I'm from Group 10. My name is Jacinta, daughter of Madhavan, and my matric card number is H23B1369. For the Part A, question number 2, data arrangement, we select number 6 for the classes. Therefore, the 64 is greater than 50. So, therefore, the recommend number class is 6. For the determine the class interval, we follow the formula, which is 83 minus 13 divided by 6. So we get 12.5. After that we round up and we get the 13. And we come out the frequency distribution. For example, 30 to 25, we calculate the number around 13 to 25. So total number is 14. Then after we calculate all the total, we must get 50. For the relative frequency, the formula to get the relative frequency, for example, 14 divided by 50. So we get 0.28. Then after we total up, we must get equal to 1. For the cumulative frequency, um, so for example, we started from 14 and we have to plus with 8, then we get 22. And repeat the same thing. For the histogram table, we must have the upper boundaries and midpoint. So, how we can get the midpoint? Lower boundaries and upper boundaries. Lower boundaries plus upper boundaries divided by 2, we can get 19. And repeat the same thing until the last class. So, midpoint will be x, frequency will be y. After that, we can draw the histogram table. This is the outcome for the histogram table. For the ogive table, we must have the upper boundaries and cumulative frequency for the ogive graph. So the upper boundaries will be x, the cumulative frequency will be y. This is the outcome.
For the 3.0 measure of central tendency, a measure of central tendency is a value that represents the center of dispersion. 3 most used to measure central tendency by mean, median, and mode. Mean equal total number of frequency and midpoint divide total number of interest in sample. Therefore, the mean of labor force in Malaysia is 44.22. Next is median. Median equal the lower class boundary last observation minus cumulative frequency before median class divide frequency of the median class time class size. So for the answer is 42.79. Next is mode. Mode equal the lower class boundary plus the difference between frequency of model class and frequency before model class divide the difference between frequency of model class and frequency before model class plus the difference between frequency of model class and frequency of the model class times class size. So for the answer is 21.6. Next is 4.0 is measures of variation. For the first is range. The simplest measure of variance to calculate and interpret is the range. For the range is maximum data entry minus minimum data entry. So the answer is 77. Okay, for the variance and standard deviation, the answer is 458.09 and the sample standard deviation is 21.
Part B. First, find one set of data that have one independent variable and dependent variable. They present an GPA. A researcher conducting research on school achievement. The researchers wanted to see if there was a relationship between study time and exam score. A total of 35 students were random selected.
This is my part for part B and question 2. So for the sample size, definition sample size refer to the number of individual observation of data points collected in the study or experience. So for the significance, it affects the accuracy and the reliability of research findings. Larger sample size usually provide more accurate and representative result. Okay, let's go on to another part. Okay, for the types of data, qualitative data or categories is definition of the represent categories of labor. Example include color, gender, of type of food. So for the quantitative numerical data, discrete data consists of discrete values with no responsible in intermediate values. Example like numbers of cars. So for the continuous data, can take any value in a range. Example like height and weight. So for the measures, so the level of dominant level category with a no numerical orders of position. Example color, gender. And for the ordinary level, categories with a meaningful order, but the interviews between them are not consistent. Example, education level. Okay, so let's go to the interval levels. Organize categories with consistent intervals between them, but not true 0 point. Example, temperature in Celsius. So for the retinal level, similar to the interval level, but with an actual 0 point, indicating the opposite of the measurer's attribute. Example, height and weight. Okay, so let's go to the two variable instruction. For the independent variable, Okay, the envelope is manipulate or control in an experiment to observe its effect on the defense variable. It is usually plotted on the x-axis in the graph. Okay, so for the defense variable, to the variable that is measured or observed in an experiment, the volume difference of the independent variable. It is usually plotted on the y-axis in the graph. For example, in a teaching setting, if you investigate the effect of different teaching methods, the independence variable on student performance, the independence variable, the teacher method is independent variable and the student performance is independent variable. So that's all from my part. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Aiman Hakimi bin Razami. My number card matric is H22A0554. Today I want to discuss about question number 3, which is if the data set consisting of n to 100 that you may select at random. For me, my answer I will select 25 because this data.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nurfadai binti Ghazali. My matric number is H22A1083. Today I want to present part B, number 4 and number 5. When we look at the table should have two column. One column is day presented. Day presented column is show the number of day student was present in class. The column number 2 is GPA. GPA is this column shows student corresponding GPA. As you want know, perspective data point is we can see visual data points such as a student who was present for 155 day and has a GPA of 3.00. Another student who was present for 170 day and has a GPA of 1.90. So you can see that gap in student have present day 155 for the another student have a 10170. Next, entrepreneur presenting. Without future analysis, it is difficult for attend day 119 to 179. This is as GPA 1.00 to 3.3. So number 5 is estimate regression equipment. So first you have to put a formula, and when you put a formula, you have follow the formula and just get in a data. So you have to calculate, and you can see at the slide when what I calculate in this, and the calculation last calculation is negative 3.61. This is can show that is independent the regulation equipment. The regulation equipment in y plus negative 3.61 plus 0.0422. So that is a B1 is a 0.422 for every 1 day presenting